What's good? What's good? It's your boy DP, and I'm live. Unfortunately, my boy Ed wasn't able to get on today. He was feeling under the weather, so we hope you feel better, Ed. But hey, I'm gonna hold it down for you. It's been a little slow, but it's about to speed up. That's the best thing. It's about to speed up. College football is back this week. NFL will be following soon. But let's talk about a topic everybody's been talking about since I think it was Saturday. Dillon Gabriel taking shots. Did he take a shot at Shador Sanders? Let's listen. We'll go right here.
And you don't let it infiltrate yourself. Will you share that with everybody at home?
Yeah, I think it's just part of it. There's entertainers and there's competitors, and I totally understand that. And my job is to compete, and that's what I'm focused on doing. Of course, we're doing this mid-game, but it's something that I'll get used to, and just want to be the best teammate I can and create an environment where we can all go do our best work. That's all we want to do. All you in this room are entertainers, and you have a job to do, and I respect it, right? And I'm a competitor, so I have a job to do as well. And I think, just understanding that, that's how I've lived by, and I've said that multiple times. So definitely not a new quote, but something that I've definitely said before.
You were referring to media as the entertainers?
Yeah, I just said that,
yeah. And you don't let it.
So, like I said, the shot was definitely taken, but I don't think it was at Shador Sanders. I think it was clearly towards the media, and I think we want to stir up a lot of different things when it comes to this quarterback battle between Shador and Dillon Gabriel, just because they both came in the same rookie class. We haven't had much back and forth between Shador and Flacco on the media or Shador and Pickett, just because they're the vets of the team. So anything that Gabriel says, they're going to think it's at Shador, and anything Shador does is going to be picked apart. I don't think that this was even like a recovery, like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Like he said it before, one. Two, if you watched him throughout his career at UCF, OU, and Oregon, he's been, just a level-headed guy. He's not a big media guy. He's not a big guy that's all on the internet trying to say different things or get clickbait stuff. I actually like Dillon Gabriel as a person. I don't think he's the better quarterback, especially in the long run for the Cleveland Browns or even in the NFL career. But I like the kid as a person. There's nothing that I've seen him ever do off the field that would lead me to believe he's not a good guy, and there's nothing I've seen him do on the field that would lead me to believe that he would be trying to do this to one of his teammates. Like I said, the media is always going to pick apart anything that is said, especially in a battle of two guys like Shador and Dillon. And then when you throw out a little clip like the first one, a lot of people thought that could have been a shot, but they didn't play the question. They didn't show the interview after. So that's the big thing that you got to recognize is when we're dealing with sports media in general, the biggest thing is get the clicks, correct the story when nobody cares anymore, right? So the thing is, let's say I post Dillon Gabriel take shot at Shador Sanders, even though I know it's wrong. We're going to let that go because that might get millions of views. And I'm not going to say I'm not going to correct it or take it down, but people are going to correct it and take it down in the media because how these clicks work after nobody cares no more, or it's going to be on the back page. And that's how it's always been, even when it was newspapers. When somebody did something wrong or, somebody accused you of something and it was in a newspaper, guess what? It's front page. But when they figure out that they were wrong, it's all the way in the back past the cartoon section because they don't care. They want that narrative to keep running and running and running because that's what gets the views. The negativity gets the views. So I'm just really here for them to, battle it out on the football field. Gabriel's been hurt, missed the first preseason game because the hammy. Shador then got hurt, and he was supposed to, I believe, start this Eagles game, but he had an oblique injury. So I think the biggest thing for us is to understand that these dudes are really trying to battle it out on the field in that they could care less about all the media attention because at this point in their career, they're trying to make this team. They don't care if it's practice squad. They don't care if it's 53-man, first quarterback or fourth quarterback. They got to get on the squad. So this isn't, the country club and you getting the votes. This is simply who can perform better. So the more you're going into the media, the more that you're worrying about everything else besides ball. I'm telling you, it's going to hurt you, and it's going to hurt bad. But we'll get past that. We got some good stuff coming up. Matter of fact, let me go to this one. We got college football back, and it's back. And it's crazy how early it's coming back. I don't remember seeing boys play this early in forever. I know you got 0 week, but this feels like double 0 week. So we're gonna look at this, man. Let me pull this up. Let me add it to the stage. There we go. Boom. Look at that. This Saturday. Saturday's the 23rd, right? Let me make sure I think Saturday. I'm tripping. Yeah, this Saturday, the 23rd, we got K-State and Iowa State. Look at that. We don't care about no UNLV and Idaho State, but they're there. We also got KU in Fresno State, Sam Houston State, and Western Kentucky. And then, Stanford and Hawaii late night game. Then we got Boise and them on Thursday. But look at this. We got football this Saturday. And after this starts up, football is rolling all the way through February. So if I had to be a betting man, I'm taking K-State, UNLV, obviously KU, and then Western Kentucky. I think, though, that football starting back up this Friday is about to just make everything like super lit. Like, because with football being back, fall is coming. You know what I mean? It's not back yet, but fall is coming. School's back in. But we got the NFL and we got the NCAA. And then as you get into the season, basketball starts coming back. So that's what I'm happiest for, is that everything is coming back. This is the dead period. Baseball's rolling but cool. And I do a lot of sports betting on baseball. And y'all see your boy really be hit. Y'all hit them links in the description if y'all want that free money on. But when football comes back, I think everything about to get lit like it always do. We got football, then we'll have baseball, hockey will follow, basketball will be there. Everything's rocking and rolling. I'm interested to see what my KU boys are going to do. We lost some good receivers. We lost a really talented running back. We lost some good guys. So I don't know what we're going to do this year, so I'm super excited. So I'm actually happy that we played this first Saturday game, because the world going to get to see us rock and roll. And we play it the evening. That's even better for me. So I'm excited about that. But the biggest thing is, who do y'all think is going to win the Natty? Who do y'all think going to win the Natty? I think Ohio State, if Julian Sayin is the quarterback they said he was supposed to be, right? Because you still got those receivers. You still got, obviously, a receiver, Jeremiah Smith. You're always going to have running backs. You got tight ends. You still got a lot of guys coming back on the defense. Caleb Downs is still in the secondary. I like them. Texas, man, they got another one where it depends on what Arch looks like. But they also lost some receivers as well on Texas and some other stuff as well. But you got the portal, so you bring guys in, but it's the quarterback play. How are these quarterbacks going to look at Texas? How's the quarterback going to look at Oregon this year? How is my boy Bryce Underwood going to look at Michigan? A lot of top teams have a lot of question marks at that quarterback position. So I think the team that's going to win it all is going to be whose quarterback gets it rolling the fastest. Not who's playing necessarily the best at the end of the season, because depending on who you play, in playoffs, if you lose some early games, you can be out of those playoffs quick. So, yes, you have to be playing well at the end of the season, but you can't be BSing around at the beginning of the season and take a loss or two that you shouldn't. And now you don't get into, a conference championship or whatever. So I think whoever quarterback can get it rolling earliest. And guess what? We got Texas and Ohio State week 1. So that's a huge, huge, huge game, because I think they're 1-2 in most polls. So it's not going to hurt them as a loss as far as the initial loss. Like, so you might move from 1 or 2 to 5 or 4 or whatever. But it'll hurt them because, let's say, Ohio State then takes that next loss like they did at the end of the year to Michigan or something, and depending on where you're at and how teams are moving around. So you don't want to take that early loss. Texas, you're in the SEC. You take an early loss, then you play some good teams. You can have a 3-loss season by losing game 1. So that's probably the game that I'm most looking forward to, is Texas versus Ohio State. Texas wants that get back after losing to Ohio State and not being able to get to that national championship game. I think Ohio State's my favorite. I like Texas to do some stuff. Oregon, I'm not really messing with them this year. I don't think they're going to, keep it rolling like they have been. I don't think they're going to be bad, but I don't think they're going to be the number one team in the nation and be undefeated all the way through, you know what I mean, until they lost in the playoffs. Penn State was ranked really high. I've never been a believer in Penn State. So I think that this year of college football is going to be closer to what we've been seeing in the NBA and even the NFL lately, excluding the Chiefs. Like, everybody know the Chiefs have been the Chiefs, but all the other teams from the Bengals to Lamar and them, Baltimore and the Bills, they're all in the mix, right? Then you got the NFC where you've had the Eagles doing their thing. You had the Vikings kind of have a couple of years ago. You got the 49ers. You got the Lions. There's a lot of good teams that it could go anywhere. It's not just going to be like, oh, it's this team and this team. I think that's what we're going to get in college football this year, where you really aren't going to know till the end of the year. Most times, it's going to be Ohio State and, let's say, Bama, Georgia and Bama, whoever. I don't know what Georgia's going to be. I know the Gunnar Stockton kid looked good when he came in for Beck last year, but he also looked better because people just didn't like Beck anymore. So anything he did, if he completed a pass, they're cheering, like as if he had won the national championship. Alabama, I think they have Simpson as their starter. I don't know what he's going to do. I wasn't a big believer in him. I know he can throw the ball pretty decent, but sometimes I think in that SEC, man, if you just don't got all the receivers, which Bama has not had those traditional receivers that we have been seeing over, the last decade there, you got to be able to run the rock. And I don't know how athletic he is. So I'm really excited to see what Bama does, just because it's year 2 for their head coach. And I know he had a tough year. Last year with Bama and that fan base. We want Saban back. They're losing to Vandy and all that stuff. So this is a very, very, very big year for him to have to bounce back and do some good things at that school. But I think at the end of the day, all of those schools that I mentioned, they got it easy because we got the 12-team playoff, right? And if you do what you're supposed to do, Ohio State, Oregon, Bama, Georgia, all of them will be somewhere in that playoff. I am glad that and I believe they did, moved it around where Boise and Arizona State shouldn't be back in a top 4 slot just for winning the Big 12. I feel like it should still be, hey, you won your conference, you get in, but it still should be within the rankings. You shouldn't be the last team in but get an automatic, bye. But with that being said, even the teams that were complaining was in that first round, everybody was getting that work. So with that being said, man, y'all got to let me know in y'all's in the comment section, who are y'all expecting to win a national championship? What player are you most excited to see in college football? We talked about the NFL a little bit last week, but I think college football has to be Arch, man. And he's another guy that was like Gunnar Stockton, where he's the backup quarterback. And we know the backup quarterback is always the most loved player on a team when your starting quarterback isn't, performing perfectly. Arch came in, he ran the ball, towed it. He's a big man, and, the Manning's big, slow, sloppy running. They can, get the ball around, but they slow. Arch showed he has some speed, so that kind of grew his aura from that one play versus Louisiana Tech. Like, whoa, a Manning can run? But he didn't look crazy when he would come in for, Quinn Ewers. Also, I've heard a lot from Texas alumni, guys that have been to practices, some boosters, donors, like they're sold on him as the starter, but not as this guy that the media always keeps trying to say he's the automatic first quarterback taken when he comes out, which his grandpa said he's not coming out this year, but we'll see how that shakes by the end of the season. It also could be trying to lessen the pressure on him of saying, oh, we're not coming out, just so if he doesn't do good, it was like, well, we weren't coming out anyway. But I really want to see what that young man does. And then the team I want to see is Colorado. You don't got Shador no more. You don't got Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn, Wester. You got some boys, but you don't got them boys. So Coach Prime, you just got you a nice little deal, $55 million, 5 years, maybe like the fifth highest paid head coach in college football. That alone shows that they believe in you. And I know one of y'all's biggest thing is, do you believe? You got to believe in all that. But I want to see how much y'all believe when that man number 2 wasn't making crazy plays, when you ain't got a guy like number 12 that goes both sides of the ball and can make plays any and everywhere. That's a team I really want to see. And of course, I want to see my Kansas Jayhawks, as y'all obviously see it behind me. Because last year, man, and we mud stumped that Colorado team. I went to Arrowhead, we watched that, and it just made me so sick to my head because we let so many games get away at the beginning of the year. And I'm not going to point the fingers. If you've talked to me, you know what I believe and what we saw and what we discussed. But I think that team should have been a team that was fighting for a legitimate Big 12 title, game. And if you get in that title game, anything can happen in a playoff spot. And we came out slow. And I think the first 4 games we lost, we were leading in the fourth quarter by at least 7 or 8 points. One game we lost, we were leading by 13 points with 2.5 minutes left and lost. So we let a lot slip away with a really talented roster. We have our quarterback back for a year. It seems like 10. These quarterbacks get to play forever now in college football. So I hope Jaden Daniels goes out there and balls this year and puts us on his back and gets back to that form when we first saw him, where he had the swag. He was making the throws. He was smiling all game. He was confident. But those are some of the things I'm really interested to watch is Arch Manning. Is he going to be able to carry that crown, right? Preseason number 1, we're at Texas. We got all the NIL money. Oh, and speaking of that, Texas Tech, y'all better do something. All that money y'all throwing around, y'all better do something. Softball threw some money around and made it to the national championship and was 1 win away from a natty. Football, y'all throwing around some crazy money on. Y'all better ball out because all that money y'all throwing around, and if y'all ain't winning, come on now. USC throwing around a lot of money as well. A lot of teams are, but Texas Tech bread, bruh, I'm telling you. So those are some of my thoughts right there. Arch Manning, can you carry Texas? Deion, you ain't got some of these superstars, and how are y'all going to reload? You got a young quarterback in Julian Lewis, and you got Salters. They're fighting for the spot. Sounds like Salters is going to win that one. That defense got to get shored up, but I did like what that defensive coordinator was able to do last year. Hopefully they're able to build on that. But the offense, that's going to be the telltale. Can you get that magic back? My KU boys, can we start fast? Can we finish games? Can our quarterback play at the high level that we grew to love him when he first hit the scene, right? Winning games versus Texas at Texas and then doing his thing up until he had got injured in the TCU game when we started off 4-0. Texas Tech, is that money going to pay off or y'all just throwing money and y'all still out there, just being mediocre? 8-4 is not good enough for Tech with the amount of money y'all are, spending. I'm not even saying y'all got to win a natty or win. I'm about to say maybe not win it, but y'all got to get close to winning the Big 12 to be real. Because ain't nobody else spending bread like that in the Big 12 like y'all spending bread. Y'all got that billionaire, he giving out checks. So Texas Tech, y'all need to be close to winning that Big 12 and being a playoff team. I think y'all got to make it to the playoffs, Tech. That's your big thing. If you ain't making it to the playoffs, what are y'all doing, right? So those are some of my thoughts. Bama, of course, I want to see what they do just because of it's year 2 for Dubois or however he says his name. And I know the Bama fans were sick last year seeing what they were seeing. In Georgia, I'm interested to see what they're going to do now that they got the new quarterback and kicked Beck out of town. But I'm not so interested because they've pretty much been doing what they've needed to do for a while. They still got the same head coach. He's not really on the hot seat. Nobody's really calling for his head. And then, with that being said, Carson Beck, I actually hope – so I'm a big Miami fan. It's all about the youth. I actually got a lot of Miami stuff that's behind the camera, so I'm not going to get it. But I actually want Carson Beck to ball at the U, not because I'm a Miami fan. A lot of times, because I used to get on Beck just because he was a Georgia quarterback. So I used to go in on him just because the team he played for and everybody's a homer when it comes to Georgia, and we're Georgia, and now they're so high and mighty. But I root for most of these kids, if not all of them, right? Like, it's sports. So I'm glad that Beck gets a new start. I actually hope he goes out there and balls out. No different than Kyle McCord after, they did him like they did him at Ohio State. He loses, one game, and they're just trashing the kid. Then he goes to Syracuse. Did they win a national championship? No, but he balled out. He has a chance in the NFL. He broke records. He had a good year. So I love seeing guys be able to move from one spot where they're maybe not appreciated like they should be and move to another spot and actually do a lot of good things. So those are my thoughts. Quick 20 minutes for y'all today. Like I said, shout out to my boy Ed. I hope you feel better, man. I'm gonna keep holding it down. We're gonna keep rolling. But yeah, hopefully y'all have been enjoying us, talking to sports, giving y'all the bets. My bets for today, it's a tough baseball day. The underdogs did their thing yesterday, but I'm going to go with the Kansas City Royals, and we're going to go with the Atlanta Braves to beat the White Sox today. And I think the Royals are playing Texas Rangers, so I ain't no homer. I think the Royals win, and I think the Braves win. We got a nice little 2-pick. Like I said, links are in the description on the Facebook as well as the YouTube. If y'all want those free picks, I'll give out free picks every day. And then there's also, free money on some of the apps as well if y'all want to go collect some of those free money ons and promo codes. But we out.